4K, a huge upgrade in number of pixels shown on a display that some people care a great deal about and some don't. But there is one thing that's hard to deny: it does actually look better. And not just on a 4K TV. A 4K game looks better on a 1080p TV, which sounds incredibly counterintuitive, but it's true. Why? Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx we ask the question, why does 4K look better even on a 1080p TV? So let's start with a simplified version of the scenario. Let's say you take a picture in a fairly low resolution. Now it's in no way a special picture, it's just any old picture. It could be at a bar, it could be at a family gathering, or it could be that you saw a celebrity when you visited New York and needed to take a picture. I don't know. It looks a certain way and it's obvious that it was taken in that resolution. Now, let's say you take the exact same picture of a bar, family gathering, or celebrity walking down the street in a higher resolution, but resize it to the same resolution of the first picture. The one that started high resolution is probably going to look better. And if we understand exactly what we started with, it's much easier to talk about why it looks better on the whole. With the iPhone, Apple does a similar thing. In fact, it's probably the phone that you used to take the picture of the celebrity that you followed down the street when you visited New York. iPhone generates the active image of its screen at a higher resolution than it is capable of displaying. And although the display itself is fairly high resolution, downsampling the image softens the edges, reduces jaggies, and generally looks higher quality. This is due to something called downsampling. In our two-photo example, resizing the larger image to the smaller image means that either you discard the information, which would make a pixelated-looking version of the photo, or in every pixel you combine the information. This is done by averaging the pixel with the 4 surrounding pixels that would be there if you were displaying at its native resolution, and figuring out which color is most prominent. This creates more natural-looking anti-aliasing just by default, and edges tend to look better without having to go into further explanation. However, color is a different story. I know you didn't think we were about to upload a 2-minute video, but here's that different story. Aside from the overall downsampling, there's also something going on called chroma subsampling. When we're talking about color on a monitor, we're usually talking about RGB or sRGB, that standing for red, green, and blue. But on TVs, it tends to be YCBCR, which in this situation, Y is the brightness and detail, and CB and CR are the differences displayed between the two colors red and blue. So your Y channel is stored at full 4K resolution because it is your detail channel. It shows the brightness of every pixel and also functions as your green channel. It's actually designed to take advantage of the human eye, which perceives depth and detail on grayscale and sees grayscale as green, at least before combining it with all other color detail that the eye perceives, which is exactly what the CB and CR channels do. They essentially function as lower resolution color data, which is mapped over the grayscale/green detail channel. So you have a 4K Y channel and 1080p CBCR channels. And I really hope this isn't getting too complex, but there's almost no way to simplify it further than this. When you scale the video down to 1080p, you're actually really scaling down the detail channel, the Y channel, where the CB and CR are kept at the resolution they were at, which is 1080p. So when displaying a video where all of the chroma data is at the same resolution, 1080p specifically, it looks better than 1080p video, which typically stores the Y channel as 1080p, and then the CB and CR at a lower resolution, typically being 480p. So we've explained that, but we also have to remember that video transferred over HDMI cables is typically compressed, even coming out of a game console. And that's typically compressed in the H.264 codec. Now, HD video encoded at 1080p is going to show all of the artifacts that are present in 1080p video that has been compressed at that resolution. But if you're compressing video at a 4K resolution, first off, you're going to be using a higher bitrate, and second off, the artifacts are going to be inherently smaller. So when you view those artifacts on a smaller resolution, they're smaller than they would be in a regular plain old 1080p representation of the image, because that 1080p image again was compressed at 1080p. Any artifacts are being viewed viewed at their actual size. Whereas 4K video that is scaled down is giving you artifacts at a higher size that are being viewed as smaller, which will be less perceptible to the human eye, obviously speaking, and will overall look better. To simplify, 4K video is simply higher quality video, and I don't think anybody is going to contest that. But it's not just that it's higher quality video, it's much larger video being scrunched into a much smaller area. And every one of the flaws that is present in the video, either inherently due to the representation of color, the bitrate, and the size at which artifacts are noticeable, or even just the fact that you're dealing with 4 times as much data being averaged out to be shown on a smaller screen, meaning there is more to work with. So even if you don't care a whole lot about buying a 4K TV, you should be happy that game consoles are moving up to 4K. Because even if you're going to game on that 1080p monitor until Kingdom Come, it's going to look better. Did this help clarify anything for you? Leave us a comment, let us know what you think about the video, and if you liked it, please click the like button. If you're not subscribed, now would of course be a good time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is of course a subscription. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on GameRanx.